Okay, Shamji, so nice. It's been long time. We've been really waiting for this satsang to happen. This our online session. So
जी
me and Shamji, we are doing this for some time now, and this is an online satsang we do, and then we take a topic. So before the topic, we'll just have the little introduction. So I myself, I am Anurag Arora, and welcome you all in this session. I am a Art of Living volunteer, a teacher, full-time traveling teacher from last 20 years. Has been traveling around the world, teaching Art of Living meditation workshops from last 20 years and helping people to uplift and be happy in their life, be happy, healthy, and purposeful in their life. And I have with me Shamji. Shamji is a very good friend, and we are more spiritual friend. The Shamji is a seeker. Shamji is he meditates and he come up with these very beautiful insights. So he's a part-time professional ex-army person and full-time meditator and spiritual insider. That's what he loved doing, and I also love doing this with whenever I get time with Shamji. So we get online and we take a topic, and this topic we dive deep spontaneously, and with the experiences we try to share our experiences and see from our experiences, from our insights, how people can be helped. How somebody who is a seeker, somebody who wants to be on the path, who is already on the spiritual path, and see if these podcasts, these discussions can help you or anybody around you. So, Shamji, today's topic, he already mentioned this to me. It's about chakras. Chakras are energy centers. Our body, our subtle body has different energy centers. So, today our insight will be on the chakras. So, Shamji, would you like to launch the discussion for today? Satsang knowledge session
जी
for today? Yeah.
जी थैंक यू अनुराग भैया ये ये एको आ रहा है इसमें
Okay.
आ,
For me, it's fine. Maybe I'll.
हाँ इट्स अ प्रोमिनेंट एको हेलो नाउ इट्स ओके हाँ हाँ ओ जय गुरुदेव the echoes vanished without my doing anything acha my about 15 days ago uh, I had requested bhaiya let's have a satsang on chakras. And for some reason or the other, we were not able to link up. And in the 15 days itself, there has been a dynamic change. This definitely leads one to believe that whatever I'm going to say is transitory. You are aware of it, I'm aware of it. So, therefore, first, what I'll try is to put things in perspective as I understand them. Then request Bhaiya to amplify the introductory words that I'm going to use. And after that, I will just uh, share with you what I see. Now, what I see is not through my eyes, it's not through the mind and the senses, but is in a realm altogether different from this. So, see may not be the right word, feel भी right word नहीं होगा, manifest may be एक word होगा. Yes, the observer is there because जो भी see करा, उसको verbalize through the medium of the mind and five senses कर सकते हैं. I would now say, Bhaiya, we have a book. Book has got words. If you take one word at a time, you just get the meaning of that word. If you take a sentence, you get the meaning of the sentence. If you take a paragraph or a shlok or a mantra, joined together by all these words, you get a meaning. Now, those words, if written by an author who is alive, then we can go back to him and say, please explain to us what are you trying to say. But if those words are centuries old, then what happens is the learned people, through their knowledge and their experience, give commentaries on that. And the commentaries that come down to us, to a very large extent, wherever we have faith, we take it as so and so is the gospel truth. Whereas it is his truth. When I read a little bit, I find out that, in our Sanatan, there are six darshan. And you can dip in one of them, you can dip in all of them, you can dip two major, four minor, whichever combination you want. So I take spirituality like that. I take it out of a sense of curiosity. And I do find that most of the time I get settled within the treasure which is available in the art of living. But I do not restrict myself to this. I read here and there, then I stop reading, then I put it inside, and I try uh, to experiment with myself. Fortunately, in Bhaiya, I have a person, whatever's happening inside me, I share with him. And then he documents it with what is in the literature of art of living, what is in the literature of our texts, and he puts his wisdom and experience to it. And that sort of makes it whole. Now, having said this, 15 days ago, I was bedazzled by chakras. So I was saying, yeah, topic will be chakras. But then something else happened and the topic got enlarged. It came to change of medium from the physical to the astral. In our art of living, and Bhaiya uses the term the subtle body. In my comprehension, subtle is a relative term. It is a couple of subtle and gross. The eyes are subtle and the legs are gross. But when you see the couple of eye and mind, the mind is subtle and the eye is gross. So subtle is vyapi, surrounding, all encompassing, and moving on and on. But it is relative. So if you move away from the realm of the mind and the five senses, one would say you're entering into something subtle and the mind and senses have become gross. So possibly, therefore, in my comprehension, we are using the term subtle body. Suffice to say that the subtle body is distinct from the physical body. But what I feel is I would like to use the term astral body. There's a reason why, because I'm not fighting over vocabulary, but astral body to my mind puts a boundary, a limit. Subtle body, I can't put a boundary because it is something. Now, the astral is actually gross when you compare it to the causal body. So that is why I have to have a clear definition. Only then I can explain to you what I see in a certain, you know, perimeter, within the perimeter. Therefore, I would say the astral body. Abhi tak, you would like to say something, Bhaiya?
Yes, Shyamji, please go ahead. Very good.
Okay. So now, change of medium. I've been lucky that I have experienced land, sea, and air, all three mediums. The land is a medium of which we all are aware. And in this medium, how the physical body, the mind, and the senses function, we are all aware. But I've had the chance to, jump from aeroplanes. I'm a paratrooper. So I have the experience of, being suspended in air. And in that, what happens is that when you're coming out of the plane, there is very fast current which is opposing you. And since you jump down from the plane and your parachute has not opened, you are literally in a blinding vortex, knowing not what is happening. Your senses get scattered, you get confused, you feel as if you're in a whirlwind, and suddenly everything becomes still because the parachute has opened. So once the parachute opens, then I am suspended in air, but I am using one of the tools which have been manufactured by mankind on Earth, that is the parachute. So if the parachute was not there, possibly my experience of air would have been very different. But here, the parachute is there, and I'm looking around, and there is a tremendous sense of expansion, sort of a spatial quality, and the stomach comes into your mouth. There is levitation, but there's no silence because you are looking around, and call it air or whatever, there is something which is touching your body, and you're going through something till you are 200 feet short of the land. And again, like if you're sitting in a train, we started our journey with second class compartments. So next to the bathroom, when you open the door and you sit with your feet down, and you see the railway line, the railway track galloping. So 100 times more, if I look down at the earth, say about 200 feet from top, the earth starts galloping. And it is something like, say, 20% of what when I had jumped from the plane and there was no parachute, there was a vortex. Now here there is a galloping till the feet come on the ground and we take a roll and we get up and we realize we are on Mother Earth. All that I'm saying is that from one medium, the human body came to another medium. Now you come to the medium of water. When you get into the swimming pool, there is no instrument or mechanics like a parachute, which is man-made, which is controlling you. Your body is totally your own, and you are subjected to the laws of flotation. You can see with your eyes. The hearing is very muffled. The gravity takes a twist. Like in air also, the gravity was the one that was the differentiator. But inside the water, most of your senses are with you. As also, when the parachute had opened in the air, all your senses were with you. The only difference was the effects of or the laws of gravity. Now, with this background, I have had the occasion to move into another medium from my physical body to my astral body. Now, this is a thing either people don't discuss or people tell them, चुप रहो, ये internal मामला है, ये होता रहेगा, but don't talk about it. But I said, why? And I also know in 15 days there has been a transition, so there will be more transitions. But this change of medium from physical body to astral body, what all happens here? It is there's no mind, there are no senses. It is, I would say, not the word beyond, I would use the word pare. Pare means other than. So I am in a physical body, but then astral body is a place where it is other than the physical body. Why I am not saying beyond and other than? Because the astral body, say 10 dimensionally, 10 dimensionally is through and through the physical body. It is not that they are sitting side by side or in front of, above or below each other. The astral body within it contains something gross, which is the physical body. And the astral to the physical is subtle. Maybe that is why for a certain level of people who are in spirituality, वो subtle शब्द बोल के उसको खत्म कर देते हैं. अभी तक भैया?
Please go ahead, Shyamji. Perfect. Please go ahead.
Okay. So therefore, change of medium is what we have discussed. Let us now discuss what is this astral. जब हमें astral का definition मिलेगा, then only I can tell you कि जब मैं astral में जाता हूं तो क्या होता है. Astral जो है उसमें प्राण है, उसमें प्राण शक्ति है, उसमें प्राणवाह है. It has been, revealed to me, or I have hallucinated. I have been able to separate pran with pran shakti. अभी तक हमें प्राण शक्ति बोला जाता है and everybody takes it for granted. But I have seen pran separate from pran shakti. The pran getting ignited and thereby having shakti. And the shakti becoming more, thereby having the pranava, the circulation or the distribution. Astral body not being the physical body, the prana, a part of the astral, prana shakti, pranava. Pranava जो रूप और रंग लाता है, that possibly to me is called the chakra. That is why, और ये स्क्रिप्चर्स में लिखा है कि 12 उंगल, सर से आप 12 उंगल ले लीजिए, यहां से 12 उंगल ले लीजिए, कहीं से भी 12 उंगल, 12 fingers It doesn't say 1 foot, 1.5 foot, 2 feet. The reason is that every human structure, कोई 4 feet 8 inch होगा, कोई 6 feet 3 inch होगा. So 4 feet 8 inch का proportional 12 fingers will be his, and 6 feet 3 inches ka proportional 12 fingers will be his. So that is the boundary of the astral. This is very important. That is why I'm saying not the subtle body, but the astral body. Because subtle body, I have to cut it somewhere. So I'm cutting it at the 12 fingers. So the astral body की जो रेखा है वो 12 फिंगर्स पे है. अब उसका रूप क्या है? It comes from the pran, Shakti, when it moves around. Those who are able to see it describe it as chakras. That is why also in the astral body it is said that there are not 6, 7, 8, 9 chakras, there are 108 chakras. Then it is also said every cell of your body is a chakra. So I am superimposing on the human body, and I am saying that no chakra exists within the physical body. However, when the pran shakti ka prana bhav becomes quite a lot, since it is through and through the physical body, there are certain pressure points. Those pressure points are the feelings. So मूलाधार के नीचे अगर कोई feeling हो रही है, according to me, the chakra is not in the physical body. It is in the through and through astral body, and it is aligning, and thereby at that point, which I am actually मूलाधार को taking it as the appendix. एंड अपेंडिक्स का अगर एक ऐसा सा शेप ले लो तो वहां पे जो प्राण शक्ति का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन होता है दैट पॉसिबली फॉर मी इज एक्सप्लेन्ड एज द मूलाधार चक्र. अभी तक भैया ओके.
Yeah, please go ahead.
नाउ I was thinking how to explain this with an example. फर्स्ट आई थॉट कि एक अंगीठी ले लेते हैं एक कमरे के अंदर. अंगीठी में कोयले और कोयले को इग्नाइट करते हैं. बट देन आई सेड नो, लेट दिस बी, लेट्स टेक अ बॉयलर रूम. देयर इज अ बॉयलर एंड देयर इज अ रूम. द बॉयलर हैजंट स्टार्टेड और कमरा खोल के द अवेयरनेस हैज कम इनसाइड. बॉयलर के कोर में इग्नाइट किया, डीजल डाला या व्हाटएवर. And if you want a slow motion, you take the example of the कोयला in the अंगीठी. दिया सलाई जलाई and धीरे धीरे जो है the koila starts becoming hot. Fast forward if you want, you get onto the boiler room. But what I'm trying to put across is कि if I'm inside the boiler room when the boiler is not on, then I'm in room temperature. But once the boiler comes on, then you know the energy which comes. We start experiencing it. If a part of my body is close to the angithi, then that part starts feeling the heat first. Then, if I keep focusing, that spreads from that part to left, right, up, down. And it doesn't follow a geometrical pattern. it keeps spreading. At one point of time, if you focus, it may look like a chakra. At one point of time, a coupling. At one point of time, it's moved beyond that. So, this is possibly, वो जो कोयला है, आई एम कॉलिंग इट प्राण. इग्नाइट जो होता है, तो जो इनिशियल निकलती हैं, वहां से आई एम कॉलिंग इट शक्ति. द ह्यूमन बीइंग इज ऑल्सो अ मशीनरी. प्राण जो है वो हमेशा जल रहे हैं. कोयला जो है इन परपिचुटी इज बर्निंग. Because if it stops burning, we breathe our last and we die. So we have no experience of prana. We only have experience of prana shakti. And the sadhaks have experience of the rising prana shakti and the ebbing prana shakti, and the tools which are available to increase the prana shakti. And as the prana shakti keeps rising, there are touch points or feel points. This is where I had used the word Jagmag Shushitna with Bhaiya. For an Acha, what I have done these days is I do Sahaj twice a day, and I do the 7 chakra month twice a day, and I've been doing it for a very long time. और इसके स्वाद को चखने के लिए I have stopped doing any other meditation. In the knowledge that within the water drop is the essence of the ocean. So if I can just get on to these chakras, possibly something will happen. And lo and behold, after continuous practice over months, today I've reached a stage of being able to experience the change of medium. जब आप स्विमिंग पूल में जाते हैं, तो before you contact the water, you are most alert and sensitive. And when you touch the water, you know, there is a very, very pronounced sensation. But once you're inside the water, you get acclimatized. So similarly, the change of medium from physical to astral, वो मेरे से नहीं हो रहा था. 7 chakras वो फूलते थे, कम होते थे, आपस में वो सब करते थे, दाएं बाएं भागते थे. बट देन वन फाइन डे, ये जो वेगस नर्व है, इंगला पिंगला एंड सुषुम्ना, दिस केम इनटू माय अनुभूति कि फ्रॉम द मूलाधार टू द सहस्त्र ये थ्रेड है. इस थ्रेड में, and it is a geometrically absolute straight line, and all the 7 chakras are felt here. So possibly this is the doorway. मैं यहाँ थोड़ा pause करूं because it will become more mystical after this. तब तक you would like to say something?
Carry on. Continue. Yeah, yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes, yes. I'm very careful, very listening with, complete 100% listening.
Okay.
Hmm.
गुरुदेव के वाणी से possibly उनका एक्सपीरियंस फूटता है. जो उनके चक्रों में हो रहा होता है, वो बोलते हैं। और अगर हम वहां तक पहुंच जाएं कि उसको एसिमिलेट ना करके बस उसी को देखते जाएं, देखते जाएं, देखते जाएं, बिकॉज जब ये वाली चीज आई, this came after about 3 months of continuous listening to the same video of Gurudev. तो उसमें ना there are silences and there are places where he says let go. There are places he says you expand your mind, take it wherever you want, then get it back to the Muladhar. You know, he starts off with the Muladhar as a glow. What happens to me is कि वो जो अपेंडिक्स का टिप है, अब आप एक कोई ग्लास ले लीजिए, ये आप पेंसिल देख रहे हैं और ये ग्लास है। अब आप पेंसिल देखिए, you can see the pencil, but it is not the same as this. So what happens to me is कि अपेंडिक्स पोर्शन में पहले ऐसे हो जाता है। The pencil, the appendix is the pencil, एंड जो ग्लो आता है वो इस तरह का आता है। उसके बाद गुरुदेव कहते हैं, एंड ही सेज इट फॉर ऑल चक्रस, बट आई एम डिस्क्राइबिंग जस्ट वन ऑफ द चक्रस। उसके बाद वो ये कहते हैं कि इमेजिन अ बॉल ऑफ लाइट। तो एक बॉल और लाइट, लाइट मतलब सफेद, वो जो है वो दिखने लगता है। देन ही सेज take your mind here, expand your mind there. He said, leave it, look there. Then he says, come back. Pinpointed light. That is the time अपेंडिक्स की जो टेल बोन के बिल्कुल नीचे है से पॉसिबली ये जो हॉलो है, इट इज लाइक द टिप ऑफ द नीडल, वहां पे अटेंशन आता है। And with a lot of practice, you can even reach, say, 1/100th of the tip of the pin. And the feeling you get is that of the angithi and the room, or the boiler and the room. बॉयलर में वो बाहर गर्मी से आपको बॉयलर के पास ले जा रहे हैं, फिर उसके अंदर आपको बॉयलर में दिखा रहे हैं, और फिर जो है वो 100th ऑफ अ टिप ऑफ अ पिन। सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि वो प्राण है और वो प्राण शक्ति है। अब बॉयलर के अंदर अगर आप कोल या अंगीठी में देखेंगे और उसकी रेड हॉट, यू नो, इवन स्टील बिकमिंग रेड हॉट, द फीलिंग दैट यू गेट इज firstly it's razor sharp, and secondly it is fissile material. By fissile I'm using the word an atomic bomb. Fissile material. So instead of a boiler, now you come to a nuclear plant. And उस वक्त नीचे मूलाधार से what happens to me is the I get to see the Shushma. Shushma being a nerve, the vagus nerve, is a part and parcel of the physical body. This has been proved by doctors. But that fissile material there is not a part of the physical body. So actually, there are two different mediums. Now what happens is, he says you come to the next chakra, Swadhisthana. He gives you the place also. Genitals के पीछे आता है. Again he says there's a glow, then there's a ball. Then there is a pinpointed. But this time the beauty is, मूलाधार से जब हम इस पे आए थे स्वादिष्टान, जो path है, that gets like a live fired naked electricity. And the appearance is as if there is liquid mercury moving up. Why I'm saying mercury and not electricity? Because electricity में intolerable heat होती है, whereas mercury में नहीं होती. तो I can chart that 3-inch का path. पहले क्या होता था, वो टेढ़ा मेढ़ा होता था. Then my eureka moment was the Sushma. तो I said कि यार इसको इस पे राइट करते हैं. And the more I become aware of the Sushma, the more thinner it is. The more thinner, the more thinner, the more thinner. Pin of the needle, 1/100th of the tip, 1/1000th of the tip. That is the size that we are talking of, on which from the Mooladhar, the Prana Shakti rises through the Shushma. Oh, sorry, that Swadhisthana. That is there. But it is fissile material. और फिर let go, छोड़ दीजिए. Maybe because he is experiencing a nuclear explosion, so he needs to calm down. तो वो कह देते हैं छोड़ दीजिए, और जितनी देर वो कहते हैं छोड़ दीजिए, what happens is कि बॉयलर रूम की जो स्टीम है वो दाएं बाएं घूमती है. If you hear him carefully, at the Mooladhar, he says your thighs, knees will have sensation. Then at the Swadhisthana, he says your lower abdomen. Lower abdomen, say the intestine. So what I am experiencing is that flow of the steam in the boiler room in the lower intestines. It is spreading. फिर उसके बाद क्या आता है? It's a miracle. Gurudev is a miracle, because now when he comes to the Nabhi chakra, he talks of a ball of fire. He doesn't talk of light. He talks of Agni, red. He uses the word red. And he says, usko clockwise karo, usko ghumao. And the same thing, बड़े से छोटा छोटा. जब बिल्कुल छोटा हो जाता है, then he says, entwine it with the muscles inside, the stomach, the intestine. He uses the word pancreas. I have started moving it to the liver, to the kidney. And वहां पे क्या है जो मेरी अनुभूति में आ रहा है? And I'm telling you, it may be a hallucination, because मेरी अनुभूति में आ रही है जठराग्नि, आग की लपटें. फिसाइल मटेरियल नहीं आ रहा, आग की लपटें आ रही. But then quickly मन करता है get back to the alignment of the सुषुम्ना. तो उसमें क्या होता है कि मूलाधार white, that live wire electricity mercury up to the Swadhisthana, uske upar up to the Nabhi, short of the Nabhi, it becomes red in color. And the idea is अभी तो ऊपर बहुत जाना है, तो जो दाएं बाएं वो एक्सपैंड कर रही है, डोंट वेस्ट योर टाइम देयर। गुरुदेव भी यही करते हैं, एक्सपैंड ड्रॉप बैक, एक्सपैंड ड्रॉप बैक। सो इन अदर वर्ड्स पॉसिबली ही इज सेइंग, don't get misled by moving left and right, keep going up, keep going up. So then acha, I reached the top every day, 2 times a day. So there naturally should be the tendency कि मैं तो बस वहीं से शुरू कर दूं। पर जब वहां से शुरू करते हैं तो उसकी इंटेंसिटी बहुत कम होती है। जब ऐसे जाते हैं, एंड अर्लियर ऑन तो ये होता था कि यू हैव टू काउंट 10, 1 2 3 4 इन नर्सरी, बट इफ यू बिकम अ गुड स्टूडेंट यू वांट टू शो ऑफ 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 10। नो, समथिंग इज टेलिंग मी रश, बट समथिंग इज टेलिंग मी नो, एंड देयर Gurudev's Vani comes in its time which he has allocated. Arey, the timing is fabulous. The time which he has allocated. वहां से, you know, the word was अनाहत चक्र। शुरू शुरू में चक्र होता था, अनाहत होता था, पूरा स्पेस होता था, ध्यान से सुनते भी नहीं थे गुरुदेव क्या कह रहे हैं। नाउ व्हेन आई एम लिसनिंग वेरी केयरफुली ही सेज exactly at the middle of the chest. What is he doing? He's aligning you to the sushupna, because it, the vagus nerve cannot go anywhere else. So the chakra is exactly in the middle. जितना ग्रोस है उतना बड़ा दिखाई देगा, जितना सटल है उतना आपको फिसाइल मटेरियल तक ले जाएगा। एंड हियर ऑल्सो आई गेट द फिसाइल मटेरियल। जठराग्नि सिर्फ वहां आती है, बाकी सारे चक्रों में फिसाइल मटेरियल आता है। सो दिस फिसाइल मटेरियल कम्स व्हेन ही इज लिंगरिंग ओवर इट, यहाँ पे आता है। अच्छा, यहाँ पे जो आता है वो एक चट्टान वाली फीलिंग होती है। इन द सेंस इट इज नॉट लाइट। जैसे चांदनी रात होती है और उसका रिफ्लेक्शन रॉक्स एंड बोल्डर्स एंड माउंटेन्स में आता है, तो चांदनी कम्स हियर। नाउ यू विल बी गिविंग योर इंटरप्रिटेशन, क्योंकि जो मूवमेंट ऑफ एनर्जी विद द इमोशंस होता है, तो पॉसिबली उसकी वजह से इट्स अ लव हेट एंड फियर काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग, वेराज जो स्वादिष्ठान में था इट वाज क्रिएशन एंड क्रिएशन। So while it is going up, while it is facile, while it is spreading, the feeling is different. Emotions की मैं बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, बट हर एक में, so therefore possibly yes I'm getting it. What is happening is when the energy is elevating, वो जो है वो दूसरे, I should say वो emotions पे आ जाएगा। That emotions are not in the physical body. ये जो हम कहते हैं ना दिल, नो इट्स नॉट द दिल, इट इज दिस चक्रा हियर एंड द सुषुम्ना एंड द बियॉन्ड एंड द प्राण शक्ति, एंड द प्राण शक्ति से जो फिजिकल बॉडी में इमोशन आता है, और पॉसिबली प्राण शक्ति से जो ब्रेन कमांड सेंटर पे जाता है, इट is the master which tells the brain कि look, this is love, this is hate, this is fear. फिर उसके बाद नेक के बिल्कुल बीच में छोटा सा, अगेन a billionth of a टिप तक जाता है। जब वो कहते हैं फैलाओ, सो दिस इंटायर थिंग सिल्वर का हो जाता है, और ऐसा हो जाता है जैसे ये मास्क है, इट बिकम्स सिल्वर. But he gives enough time for you to have a leeway also. So my awareness also tells me that, it is going this way. But no, get it back, because you have to get back to the fissile material. और ये बिल्कुल एब्सोल्युटली प्रोमिनेंट यहाँ पे सिल्वर आता है, बट हॉलो फ्रॉम इनसाइड. इट्स ओनली जैसे कि एक सिल्वर मग होता है, इट इज लाइक दैट. अच्छा, नाउ दैट व्हेन वी कम टू द आज्ञा चक्र, प्रायर टू दीज 2-3 months, जब हम तरह तरह के मेडिटेशन करते थे, तो आईब्रो सेंटर के अंदर 1.5 इंच फ्रॉम हियर आई यूज टू टेक इट इनसाइड, और वहां पे वर्क होता था, और पूरा जो ब्रेन मटेरियल है उसके बीच में एक जगह चला जाता था. नाउ व्हेन ही सेज आज्ञा चक्र, यहां से सुषुम्ना से क्लाइम करता है, एंड इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल साइट. सनराइज अगर आप देखें, तो बिफोर द सन कम दोस पिंक शूट्स. तो वो शूट्स आती हैं, एंड दे टेक मी टू द आज्ञा चक्र पॉइंट, नॉट फ्रॉम हियर बट फ्रॉम इनसाइड, इन दैट वे. और वो जो शूट्स ऑफ पिंक एंड गोल्डन हैं, they go to the brain mass. ब्रेन मास में जो जैसे इंटेस्टाइन्स हैं, वैसे ब्रेन मास है. वो सब जगह जो है वो उसमें घूमने लगती है. इफ आई लिंगर ओवर इट, तो दिवाली में बचपन में मेहताब एक होता था, इफ यू रिमेम्बर. उसको जब जलाओ तो ऐसे अनार जैसे उसकी वो निकलती थी, बट इट वॉज अ मेहताब, इट वॉज नॉट एन अनार. तो इवन दैट काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग कम्स, एंड आई प्ले विथ इट एट विल. कभी मैं उसकी मेहताब की वाइट रे बना देता हूँ, कभी मैं उसका सनराइज का पिंक बना देता हूँ, कभी मैं सनराइज का येलो बना देता हूँ. तब तक गुरुदेव कहते हैं कि चलो चलो टॉप पे चलो. तो फिर वो जो है वो टॉप पे जाता है. दैट इज योर सहस्त्रार. Now, at every point, when I'm moving to the next point, I, in my earnestness, have fully explored the 1 billionth tip of a pin, जो कि फिसाइल मटेरियल है. और जब भी गुरुदेव कहते हैं गो टू द नेक्स्ट, तो एवरी टाइम मैं नीचे से ऊपर तक जाता हूं, जस्ट टचिंग दोज पॉइंट्स, fissile points, and reaching there. यहां पे मैं बदमाशी कर रहा हूं, because I am not experiencing 7 chakras, I am experiencing 9 chakras. नाइन्थ तो वो है जब ओम करते हैं, तो वो यहां से आता है, goes there, very very clear. It can't come from here. पहले तो ओम के लिए ब्रीद इन यहां से होता था, अब ऑटोमेटिकली ओम के लिए ब्रीद इन यहां से होता है. दैट्स द 9th one. But the 8th one is here. So when Gurudev is talking about the 7th one, I am dividing his time into 7th and 8th. Maybe that is why my experience in the 7th is quite weak. बस ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे ग्लोब का नॉर्थ पोल है और नॉर्थ पोल में बर्फ बह गई है. जस्ट दैट काइंड ऑफ अ कूल फीलिंग कम्स हियर. और यहाँ का जो पॉइंट है, सुषुम्ना मेरे लिए यहां खत्म नहीं हो रही है, वो यहां खत्म हो रही है. और इसकी जो टिप है, What I had said was कि मूलाधार में अपेंडिक्स के नीचे ये हॉलो, वहां पे 100 or 1 million or whatever, because डिविजिबिलिटी ही मायने नहीं रखती, वो यहाँ पॉइंट था. द सेम थिंग जब यहाँ पे आते, तो दिस इज द टिप, एज इफ इट इज हॉलो. यहाँ पे वो मटेरियल मैनिफेस्ट होता है, वो कम होता है. कमाल क्या होता है कि उसमें से फुलझड़ी की तरह ऐसे ऐसे फ्लावर्स ऑफ वाइट निकलते हैं. एम आई ऑडिबल? हेलो? अच्छा.
Yes, yes, Shamji.
फ्लावर्स ऑफ वाइट जो निकल, ओके, फ्लावर्स ऑफ वाइट जो निकलते हैं, वो एक, एंड वी आई एम सिटिंग क्रॉस लेग्ड with my spine erect. Possibly, why is the spine erect? I'm now understanding, because the Shishma has to be erect. And from there, flowers nikal rahe hain. They are forming fingers की तरफ, चारों तरफ. It is forming a shivling, and for a for moments, जैसे ये पूरा सिल्वर हो गया था, वो पूरा सिल्वर मैनिफेस्ट होता है. फिर वो खुराफात आती है कि देखो, अगर ये हो गया, तो जो मूलाधार स्वादिष्टान से दाएं बाएं घूम रहा था, वो क्या था, उसकी लिमिट क्या है? दे वर ऑल रीचिंग their बाउंड्री ऑफ 12 fingers. And if you're sitting cross-legged and take that boundary of the 12 fingers, it gets into the shape of a shivling. और वो जो है चलता है, उसके बाद ध्यान खत्म होता है, और उसके बाद फॉर अ मिनट और 2 minutes it still lingers. Then I get up. So when I'm standing on my feet, the shivling is right from there to the floor, and it is, say, just 1 or 2 centimeters shimmering over the physical body. प्यास लगती है, मैं मटके तक पहुंचता हूं, पानी पीता हूं, एंड द थिंग सबसाइड्स. और उस वक्त इतनी प्रबल इच्छा होती है कि किसी को ब्लेस करो, किसी को ब्लेस करो, किसी को ब्लेस करो. और ये जो हमारे 7 चक्रा है, ये अगर ब्लिस है, तो व्हाट इज कमिंग टू बी, दिस वन इज ग्रेस एंड आशीर्वाद. आई हैव फिनिश्ड. थैंक यू फॉर हियरिंग मी आउट.
I've been very patiently listening to everything, and it's actually beautiful. And this is an experience. So I think today, I think was the day for me for me to just to listen everything, because we'll have to do one more session on this, because I have 7:30. I have another meeting, and this is a 10 minutes break for dinner also. So very nice, very beautiful. The only thing I will add to this is that for our listeners and for people all who will all be listening to this, this is something very mystical. This is something, is a world of energies. And why, Shyamji mentioned, this is people refrain or maybe advise not to talk about it too much. That's true also, because this is something has to be experienced. And now what we are trying to do is, we are trying to express formless in terms of forms and examples and logic. something beyond intellect is being, we have made an attempt. Shamji has made an attempt, and that's why he was so excited, because something that cannot be expressed in the word has been attempted to express in the words. That is one thing. And why it is not being advised, because it has to be experienced. It is something, by listening to somebody's experience, Shamji's deeper insight into it and their experience can become a concept, and then you can look for the concept rather than the real experience. That's a danger for a sadhak. It's very dangerous for a sadhak. That's why Guru also advised, do not listen to anything, anybody from, because then you may form concepts, and uh, people have already made a lot of concepts, because there are images and flowers, and and 19 petals lotus, and then 13 petal lotus, and a mantra, and people already has, I tell you, without guidance, and Shamji mentioned very clearly, it's because Gurudev guiding, and that guiding, making the experience possible. That is very essential for a sadhak. So we'll continue on this, as I have to be in another meeting. It was beautiful insight. Maybe tomorrow, I'll give you the same link. We'll continue another, maybe 30, 35 minutes, 40 minutes session we'll do. And there are multiple things. So we'll talk about this difference of terminology of astral and subtle body, and then chakras, and 109 chakras, and this we'll get into this, and then what our scripture says, what Gurudev says, we'll dive more into it. It's beautiful. So this is recorded, very nice, and Shamji will continue on this tomorrow, part 2 of the chakra session. Are you there, Shamji? Are you this is your, I think your network bandwidth has gone little down, looks like.